You're listening to the Tigers Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, available to stream across all platforms. Also, be sure to check out Play Callers. New episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, available to stream across all platforms. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We hope you all had a great spring break. I know I did. I know Taylor did. Reese, I'm pretty sure, also did. We were actually all in the same state for spring break. But now we're going to go and get started with Tigers Den episode 18. Just got finished recording about 2 hours ago a great interview with a very special football player to all of our hearts. But now we're going to go ahead and get to talking about more than just football, but all sports in today's Tigers Den podcast, episode 18. Let's go ahead and get it started. Reese, go ahead and get it started with how we always start off the day, the weekend rundown. Go ahead and get it started, baby.
This is the weekend rundown. Well, this week's an exciting week. I always love this week. Men's Champ Week.
Yes,
Men's
sir.
college basketball. We got conference championship games. We got some in action right now. And, I'm just going to get it started with some of our qualifiers already for the NCAA tournament. Last night, Morehead State was the first qualifier as they won the Ohio Valley Conference. And, that's a very good team right there. 26-8 record. And they defeated Little Rock by 14 in the Ohio Valley Conference. And then today we also saw the Longwood Lancers win over UNC Asheville. Actually, it was an upset. UNC Asheville was supposed to win the tournament. And, Longwood upset their chances of going to March Madness. And then also today we saw another upset between the Drake Bulldogs and Indiana State, who went 28-5, but will make the NIT. They will not be going to the big dance this year. And had a very good season, but Drake just canceled all that March Madness hype over Indiana State. And then also from the Atlantic Sun, Stetson, like Max said earlier, the first time they have ever made March Madness in program history. So congratulations to those 4 teams already for clinching their spot. And, we also had some great games this weekend between some top-ranked basketball teams. And, just getting started Saturday, Houston clinches the 1 seed in the Big 12 after blowing out Kansas at Houston. We saw that early in the year.
Kansas is overrated, and Houston's legit. That's all.
Yeah, Kansas has 9 losses and somehow still in the top 15. Makes no sense.
Yeah, they're overrated. Overrated.
And then Kentucky beats Tennessee, but still cannot pass them to get first place in the SEC. Tennessee will hold on to that first place spot in the SEC tournament and will not play till Friday. And Kentucky won by 4 at Tennessee, so big win for Kentucky there. Kentucky's coming on a little strong here late in the season.
I mean, hey, Kentucky right now, I looked at some recent NBA mock draft projections, and 2 of their players, one of them being a bench player, are both projected to be in the top 6 in next year's NBA draft. So, I mean, when you talk about talent, this is a Kentucky team that we have mentioned throughout this basketball season. They do not lack it whatsoever. But it's just, can they play defense? And against Tennessee, they could a little bit. And so, I mean, if they play like they did against Tennessee, all I'll say is I wouldn't be surprised if they're cutting down the nets in March.
Yeah, and then, we did, like I said, we had some upsets this weekend. And one of the upsets was USC upset Arizona at USC by 13 points. Arizona did not have a good game at all. And, USC, not a very good team this year. 14-17 and 8-12 in the Pac-12. So, bad loss for Arizona ending out the regular season. We'll see what happens in their conference tournament and in March for them. And then Kansas State upset Iowa State as well. That Big 12 conference, a really tough conference, and Kansas State could have possibly put themselves in position for a potential seeding in the NCAA tournament this year.
Yeah, I saw a stat earlier today. It was like Kansas State. I mean, that win obviously was a big deal against Iowa State, but I mean, this season that's their 3rd top 10 win of the year. I mean, they already, if you include, because they beat Kansas, I'm pretty sure, earlier in the season. I'm saying like top 10 whenever they played them. Beat Kansas earlier in the season, beat Iowa State. and then I can't remember who the other team was, but I just saw it on ESPN. It popped up. I mean, I'm telling you, one of these teams that's like fifth or sixth in their conference, whether it be the Big 12, Big 10, not really Big 10, but more Big 12, possibly Big East and SEC, they're going to be a problem in March for
Yeah,
sure.
let's look. I want to see what their net ranking is actually.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. It's definitely
Yeah,
up.
their net ranking. Well, no, it's actually 71.
Oh, well.
That's kind of surprising. Oh,
I mean,
that's
hey,
why because
but
they're two and
yeah,
eight, 2-8 on the road. That's why. So
they win their conference tournament, though none of that matters. So
yeah,
that's
or at
and
least
I'll
win a
be talking
game.
about
At
that a
least
little
win a
bit
game or
later.
two.
Yeah.
And
So
then I would consider this an upset. North Carolina goes into Durham and beats Duke at home by 5 points, and they sweep the season series. I do think that these two will meet again, either in March Madness or in the ACC tournament
mm,
this week,
mm.
potentially. And then another big upset. I actually watched this game after I got done watching the Auburn and Georgia game. Baylor got upset by Texas Tech at Texas Tech, and Texas Tech, they're coming
they're
on strong.
they're one of those teams I'd also say is like a team, you do not want to see in March. They may not be the top of their conference, but they also play in the Big 12. So,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, and they have six ranked teams in the Big 12. So, being
yeah,
in seventh doesn't mean that much. So, watch out for them in March Madness for sure.
yeah. And then the last upset for men was Tulsa upset South Florida, who has been coming on strong lately this season. 16-2 in the American, and bad loss for South Florida, especially going into the conference tournament this week. Got to get ready for March if you're University of South Florida. But next, I want to get into Women's Champ Week because half of the championships are over.
Yeah,
Actually,
they're already done. I was
I
about to
think
say.
most of them are all done. And speaking of champions, Caitlin Clark, 34 points today, and they defeated Nebraska, who did beat them back in February. In They beat them in Nebraska, so now Iowa gets their revenge and wins by 5 in overtime in the Big Ten tournament final. So Iowa is your Big Ten women's champion, and they will have to wait a week to decide, or well, to see where they are going to be seated in March Madness. And then ACC tournament, Notre Dame upset NC State actually in the ACC tournament by 4 points. So Notre Dame, big win because this boosts the net ranking up a lot after that win right there. So Notre Dame will probably get a higher seed than they were expected. I think they were projected about a 5 seed. Now they'll probably go up to about a 4 or a 3 seed. And then UConn, of course, blew out Marquette. I don't think anybody in the women's Big East is that good. Like I don't think they are. And then South Carolina and LSU. We had basically a fist fight today
Mm.
between those two. Shrek versus Angel Reese, but um, South Carolina won 79-72. So that is, I'm pretty sure that's like 6 or 7 in a row. I don't even know. That's a lot for South Carolina. Um, and they're probably gonna win the whole thing. They're 32-0.
I mean,
It's
yeah, I don't think anybody would be shocked if that happened. So,
Yeah. The only team that could touch them, I think, would be like LSU or maybe Tennessee.
yeah.
Tennessee had them on the ropes the other night, so
Or I mean, some other teams like Iowa,
yeah.
possibly. That's my sleeper, at least to win it all.
Yeah, I mean Iowa could win it all, or UConn could possibly beat them,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
even though
see.
they lost to 30 or lost by 30 to them once this season.
Yeah, we'll
And
see.
then USC, Juju Watkins' team defeated Stanford, who was the number 1 seed in the Pac-12. So USC is your Pac-12 champion, and then your Big East. Oh, this is actually the Big East was not the final. It was the semifinal of the Big East. The Big East tomorrow will be decided between Georgetown and UConn. So Georgetown did upset Creighton in the Big East women's tournament. And
I have,
then
yeah, I have a feeling that UConn's gonna win that game. Just a
yeah,
feeling.
they're gonna win by 30. They beat Marquette by like a bunch, and they still didn't shoot good.
Mm-hmm.
Marquette scored 0 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of some team. Um, but yeah. Just before I end weekend rundown, I kind of want to talk about the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight,
This is
July 20th.
so stupid.
Buddy's
Hey,
gonna
but
die.
it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna watch it. That's what I'll
Yeah,
say.
it's gonna last 10 seconds, and then
Yeah.
he's dead. Like he's not coming back.
Yeah. If that fight lasts more than one round, I know it's rigged. I know it's rigged because we all know who should knock the other one out, just clean square off, and that's Mike Tyson. Absolutely putting Jake Paul on the canvas. So.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna that's not even gonna be. It shouldn't even be fair at this
But
point.
it's an expedition, so I mean they're gonna want money. They're gonna want it to go for a while. So if it's rigged, I mean you'll know, and most likely it will be. But
Yeah, it's on
hey,
the weirdest. It's on the weirdest platform ever. It's on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
So yeah, that's
So
makes no sense.
yeah, it's scripted like a lot of their TV shows. So
Yeah.
exactly. Anything else for weekend rundown, Reese?
No, that's it for weekend rundown.
All right. Well, now we're gonna send it over to Taylor, who's got our Taylor's hottest take of the day. Taylor actually is back for the first time in a while because he was not here last week. So Taylor, give us the hottest take that you have for today.
The temperature is rising. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Taylor's hottest take.
So, Max said I haven't been here. I've been sick. I still am pretty sick, but I haven't been on the last 4 episodes of Play Callers and Tiger's Den, so thought I would grace y'all with my presence real quick.
Yay.
But for the hottest take, so with the official MLB opening day in 17 days from when this episode is airing, a lot of arguments and conversations open up about who will hoist that coveted World Series trophy in late October or early November. And a lot of the early favorites are respectable, and of course, some of the favorites. First, you have the team that has all the money in the world because there's no salary cap in the MLB, the Dodgers, after adding Shohei Ohtani, one of the best players in baseball. Then, of course, again from the National League, me and Reese's favorite team, the Atlanta Braves, who have some of the best young core stars in the game, with Ronald Acuna Jr. being voted MLB Top 100's top player, and Austin Riley, and they're both top 10 in baseball. Then the next three on the opening World Series odds are the defending champs, the Texas Rangers, who have kept a very similar lineup since last year. Max's favorite team, the New York Yankees, and the
What?
worst team in baseball, the
The Red
Phillies.
Sox, I think you mean.
The Phillies with trash Bryce Harper.
Yeah, Bryce
But
Harper needs to live in a dumpster.
there is one team with the seventh best odds that finished first in the American League last year, but couldn't execute in the playoffs, so they're being hated on for the odds.
Mm.
This team deserves to be top two in the odds. That team is none other than the Baltimore Orioles, led
Yeah.
by young superstar Adley Rutschman and underrated all-star Cedric Mullins. First off, I know it's spring training, but they started out 14-2 in their first 16 spring training games. And this team surprised everyone last year. No one thought they would do as well as they did, and they're ready to do it again. And they actually added a superstar, Jackson Holliday, who when he first got drafted, first overall in the 2022 draft. They still wanted to work him up to the major league slowly, but now he's in full swing in the starting lineup on the depth chart. And, I mean, he's an absolute unit. And then they went out and added one of the best closers of all time in the MLB, Craig Kimbrell, in the offseason, who honestly is probably just going to play for every team in the league at this point. I couldn't name a team that Craig Kimbrell hasn't played for. But these teams got weapons all around. And the hot take for this week is they will not only finish first in the AL regular season, but now with some experience, this young team last year couldn't get it done. They'll get it done this year, win the entire thing, and hoist that World Series trophy and raise the pennant in Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. What do y'all think about this take?
Wow. You know what? I mean, I think it's a good pick. I'm honestly surprised. You said seventh? I mean, they were a heck of a team last year from what I saw. I mean, obviously it didn't perform well in the playoffs, but I mean, yeah, you got Adley Rushman, who's one of the top players in the entire league, and then you got Corbin Birds at pitcher, and then closer and Craig Kimbrell, like you said. And and you add players too. I mean, they didn't lose a lot from last year's team because obviously it was a young team, and then they come into this year, and then they add Jackson Holiday at second base. I mean, I don't know why they would be moved all the way down to seventh, especially with the Yankees being at fourth. I feel like they should switch. Yeah, no, I think this is a great take. I think that the Baltimore Orioles, honestly, they might be my favorite as well to win it all. I mean,
Not
besides
the Red Sox?
my actual favorite team, the Boston Red Sox, hoping and praying every night that
That's
they
trash.
make it all the way. So, but no, I do think the Baltimore Orioles could definitely go all the way. I don't think this is a crazy, outlandish thing to say. And so, yeah, I totally agree, 100%.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree with the take too. I mean last year, actually the year before, I kind of pointed out like I was like talking to some people just like MLB, and I was just like I was like the Orioles are a team to look out for because they have a young farm system, and they kind of surprised me then that year, and then the very next year like last year ended up winning the AL. And I agree with the take because honestly, this team, how young they are and everything, they kind of, as John Smoltz said last year, they kind of remind him of the 90 Braves team, like the Braves team in the 90s that won a World Series and had many good teams that whole decade. And I mean, the Orioles have a chance to. I do think the Orioles. I honestly think it's going to be the Orioles and Braves in the championship, and I think the Orioles win in 7.
Well,
Yeah.
this just proves if whatever MLB team you cheer for, if they're rebuilding young, you got to trust the process. And the Orioles and the Braves have both made that happen. That's going to do it for Taylor's hottest take, though. We're going to move it to Max with his segment, which I don't know what it is.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for Max's main matchup.
It's Max's main matchup today, and it's actually going to be a bit of a long segment. I'm going to try and go as fast as I can. My main matchup for this week is just the entire week of Champ Week. I mean, it's March. It's officially March. Champ Week is underway for men's and women's. Women's is basically over. I mean, all the teams that people really care about, Iowa, USC, South Carolina, have already, clinched their spots and won their conference championships. But now I want to talk about men's college basketball Champ Week that we have going underway this week. I mean, so beginning with the ASUN tournament on March 4th and ending with the Ivy League, the A10, the SEC, American, and Big Ten tournaments crowning their champions right before the bracket is revealed on Selection Sunday, which is March 17th, exactly a week away from when we are recording this. Teams across all 32 Division I conferences will be competing to cut down their nets in their league tournaments and, along with it, claim one of the 32 automatic bids to the 2024 NCAA tournament, which teams from each conference are going to be guaranteed a chance to go dancing in the month of March. Well, I'm going to quickly break down my predictions for all remaining conference championships, as well as discuss the results so far. Reese already did a heck of a job earlier discussing some of the already made champions. So first we got Morehead State. Like you said, a great team, 26-8. I just remember, haven't watched much of them this year, but I just remember Janai Broom played there, and he's a heck of a ball player, so I'm sure his team is too. Then we got Longwood, 21-13. They actually weren't, like Reese said, predicted to win their Big South championship, but they did.
They lost last year.
Yeah,
Last year they lost in the championship game and ended up. I think they lost by a buzzer beater.
Yeah, so this will be their second tournament appearance in history, their first since 2022. So having two championship appearances in the last 3 years, I think they'll be a good team. They'll probably be like a 15 seed, and we'll see what they do. And then we got Drake, who upset Indiana State by 4 in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship. But don't get it twisted. This Drake team, it's not really an upset because they had the same record as Indiana State. And I wish both of these teams could make it, but there can only be one because it's a smaller conference. Tucker DeVries, if you have not watched Tucker DeVries play, 21.7 points per game, which is 7th in all of college basketball. He's a super senior there. He is one heck of a player. He'll be playing at the next level as well. And watch out for this Drake team who could just shoot the lights out. Last team that's already clinched their spot is Stetson, who, like Reese said, first ever time making the tournament, and in a special fashion, they won by 3 points against Austin P earlier today. And now, some of the upcoming ones, and I'm going to try and speed through these as fast as I can. I'm going to start off with some of the smaller ones. All right, here we go. So, starting off with the Sun Belt, they are currently in the semifinal round right now, and we actually got a game for them going on as we're recording this. Texas State and James Madison. James Madison's up by 8 with about 12 minutes to go. I assume that James Madison will win that game, and then they will play Arkansas State if they win that game. That game will be actually tomorrow, so technically today when we're releasing this podcast at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. They'll be playing Arkansas State, who upset App State, who a lot of people thought would make the NCAA tournament.
Oh, they were supposed to play. They were supposed to play Auburn, possibly.
Yeah, so Appalachian State will not make the tournament no matter what. That is great news for Auburn fans because we were projected to play them. My prediction of how this will play out, Arkansas State will play James Madison. James Madison will win and go into the tournament at 31-3. And honestly, I might say as high as a 10 seed because, I mean, that record's better than everybody besides Houston. All right, now we're going to go on to the SoCon Championship, which actually just ended. The semifinal just ended in the craziest fashion. Go look it up right now. East Tennessee State beat Chattanooga on a buzzer beater in overtime to reach the SoCon Championship game, 85-84. This is also an upset because Chattanooga was actually the 2 seed, while East Tennessee State was actually, I think, the 3 seed. They're 19-15 versus 21-12. 19-15 seed won. They'll play. They have a tougher matchup for sure. They'll play Samford, and that game will be tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus. My prediction is Samford will win this game. They're 28-5. They've been one of the greatest stories all year. I think they'll beat East Tennessee State. It'll be a close game, but I think the Cinderella run for East Tennessee State is over, and the Cinderella run for Samford starts now. I think they'll enter the tournament as about a 14 seed at 29-5.
They'll win.
Watch out for them.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're a good team.
And they're right down the road from us, so I'll actually be rooting for them for sure. And now we're going to move to the Horizon League presented by Barbasol. That they are currently in the semifinal round, and both of their semifinal games will be played tomorrow, technically Monday, so technically today whenever we release this. And it'll start off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so 6 p.m. Central on ESPNU with number 1 Oakland versus number 7 seed Cleveland State. And then it'll go on into the nightcapper at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN2 between Northern Kentucky and Milwaukee. My prediction for this is Oakland will win their game against Cleveland State quite easily. They're the favorite to win the whole thing. And then a couple upsets on the bottom side of the bracket, including Milwaukee. Milwaukee upset. I'm trying to see here. Their bracket is set up kind of weird. Milwaukee upset the 3 seed Green Bay to make it to where they're at right now. And then Northern Kentucky upset Wright State. I think it'll be let's go Milwaukee versus Oakland in the championship game, but Oakland will win it all as the 1 seed, and they'll go into the NCAA tournament at 23-12. They're a good team to look out for, but they'll be about, I think, a 15 seed. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure they'll get bounced out in the first round. All right, next one. The Northeast Conference, the NET Conference. They are actually already at their championship round, but they will play on Tuesday at 6 p.m., and it doesn't seem like this game is going to be televised. But
a lot of big games Tuesday. A lot of big conferences start Tuesday.
Yeah, a lot of big conferences, but also some of the smaller conferences and their championships on Tuesday. Wagner versus Merrimack. Wagner's actually 15-15 coming into this championship game. Merrimack is 21-11. Merrimack is actually the favorite. They're the 1 seed in this conference tournament. While Wagner is actually the 6 seed, so they upset a couple of teams to make it all the way here. My prediction is, unfortunately, Wagner, your run ends here. I think Merrimack will win this game and go on into the NCAA tournament at 22-11. Probably be like a 16 seed, and we'll see what they do. And now we got the CAA Championship, so the Colonial American Championship. We actually got a quarterfinal game on right now between Delaware and Hofstra. At halftime, Hofstra is up 35-29. Hofstra is predicted to win that game. They're 2 seed versus 3 seed. And I think that Hofstra will win that game. And then if they win that game, they will play Stony Brook tomorrow at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. on CBS Network. And then, meanwhile, the other semifinal game will be Towson versus Charleston. Charleston's the heavy favorite to win this tournament, and I honestly agree with that. I think Charleston will win it. They come into this tournament at 25-7. I think they'll beat Towson. I think they'll meet Stony Brook in the championship and then beat them, and they'll enter the tournament at 27-7. And yeah, they'll be a very strong team. I think about probably like a 13-12 seed, at 27-7, and I think they'll be a tough matchup for anybody they face. Now, next we got the Summit League. Summit League is currently in the quarterfinal right now. They actually have a game. Let's see.
I think
They actually have a game going on right now between Omaha and North Dakota. Omaha is 14-17. North Dakota's 18-13. Omaha is up by 3, though. I think North Dakota will come back, though. That game is still in the first half. North Dakota will move on to the semifinal, and they will play Denver tomorrow. None of these games seem to be televised. Sucks for them. But it's going to be St. Thomas versus South Dakota State. South Dakota State, they've been good, but they don't have Baylor Shireman anymore. So give me St. Thomas to beat South Dakota State. And then give me North Dakota to actually go on and win the whole thing. Actually, scratch that. Give me St. Thomas to win the whole thing and move on into the NCAA tournament at 22-12. I think they'll be the 16 seed. And, I mean, maybe they'll upset Purdue. I don't know. Next, we got the Southland tournament, and this tournament's actually still in the first round.
There was an upset today. Southeast Louisiana lost.
Yeah, so Southeast Louisiana already got bounced out. Sorry, your season's over, buddy. And now we got more first round action going on as we speak. A close game between Northwestern State and Texas A&M Commerce. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
First round, 8:20 to go in the second half. Northwestern State's up by 2. Honestly, I think Northwestern State might win this game, but it doesn't matter because I think they'll get bounced out in the next round when they play Nichols, who is 18-13. I think Nichols will win that game, and then New Orleans plays Lamar. New Orleans, I don't really know much about your university. I love all New Orleans sports, but I think you're losing this one, buddy. And then I think who's going to win this entire thing for the Southland? That's right. It's going to be McNeese, who is 28-3 entering this tournament. I think they'll beat both teams that they face, and they'll go into the tournament at 30-3. It will be a team to look out for as a 14 seed that could definitely upset anybody that they face. They actually have LSU's former head coach, by the way. Just a little tidbit. But now we also got the let's see, scanning. We got the Big Sky.
That's on right now.
Yes. Sacramento State just beat Eastern Washington.
That was the one
minutes
seed
ago. And now Idaho State is currently going against North Colorado. And that game is about to start actually in a couple minutes. I think that North Colorado will win that game. They are 19-12. Idaho State's 13-19. So give me them to win that game. Sacramento State, that by the way, that was a big upset. Eastern Washington was 21-11, and Sacramento State was 10-23. They were the 10 seed, and they upset Eastern Washington, who was the 1 seed. Welcome to March. But I think the way this will go is I think that Weber State will actually go all the way and win this entire thing. Actually, scratch that. I think Montana will. There's a lot more games in this tournament. I don't want to try and go through them all because that'll take too much time. But be sure to tune into the Big Sky Championship, which will be on scanning. That'll be on Wednesday, March 13th at 10:30 p.m. on ESPN2. I think it'll be Montana versus Weber State, and I think Montana will win it and enter the tournament at about 23-11, and they'll be, a 16 seed. And now we got the Patriot League. They're already at their championship, but they're taking a little break to give those teams get up and ready for their game on Wednesday at 6 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. And it's going to be Lehigh, who's 14-17 coming into their championship game, while Colgate is 24-9 coming into it. I think Colgate
always wins.
Colgate has a great defense, as always, so I think they will beat Lehigh by a lot. and I think they'll enter the tournament at 25-9, and will be a tough 15 seed or 14 seed depending on how they put it in the bracket for any team to face. Now we got the American East. This is always a fun one. Vermont always wins it, and I think they're going to do the same this year. They play New Hampshire on Tuesday on ESPN2. Sorry, lagged out a little bit. And then they will face the winner of Bryant versus UMass Lowell. I think the way this will play out is Bryant will beat UMass Lowell, and then Vermont will beat Bryant in the championship game. And I think Vermont will go into the tournament at 28-6. It will be a 13 seed that everybody picks to upset the team they play, but will never do it. And so now we're going to go to the MEAC, the Metro Eastern Athletic Conference.
Yeah.
I think I'm saying that right. I don't know. But Norfolk State always wins this one, and I think they'll do it this year. They're the 1 seed. They play Coppin State, and then there's some other games, some other teams to look out for in this tournament. This tournament actually starts on Wednesday, so it hasn't even started yet. But some other teams to look out for in this tournament. North Carolina Central, the 2 seed, could also win it. But the way I project this, I think Norfolk State will win it. They always do. And they'll enter the tournament as a 16 seed. That'll lose by 30. Now we move to the SWAC. The SWAC is chock full of teams with losing records, but always fun to watch. I think that this tournament will actually be – it's actually a bit different this year. Grambling is the 1 seed. It's usually Texas Southern. Texas Southern is 3 seed. I think that a team to watch out for is actually number 2 seed Alcorn State. I don't know why, but I just feel good about their name. And so give me them to win the entire thing and be a 16 seed that loses by 55 points. Now we'll move on to the some of the big ones, starting with the MAAC tournament. I said some of the big ones, and then I clicked on the tournament with Quinnipiac as the number 1 seed. But hey, everybody's got their team. This game will be played in Atlantic City, New Jersey, if any of y'all were wondering. But they start on Tuesday, and honestly, Quinnipiac won it last year, I'm pretty sure. I think they'll win it again this year and go into the tournament with a decent record and will be a 16 seed. Now we have the MAC tournament, which the MAC usually has a team or two that's tough to play in March. And this year, those 2 teams are certainly Toledo and Akron. Both teams are 20-plus wins. I think they'll meet in the championship of this, and then give me Toledo to win and be a tough, possibly 12 seed in the NCAA tournament. And now we move on to the CUSA, Conference USA tournament. Now this year, usually the Conference USA is really decent conference in basketball, but they lost a couple of their teams to the American Conference. So the number 1 seed is Sam Houston State. I think that I haven't watched many of these teams. I
don't think they're eligible.
What?
They're not eligible.
Oh, yeah, because it's their first year. Well, then in that case, Louisiana Tech will get it by default as a 2 seed. Give me them to go into the tournament and get bounced out in the first round. Now we got the Big West tournament. This is chock full of teams. This is chock full of teams that I cannot say their name, but I know UC Irvine's in this tournament, and I know they got a couple upsets on the year. They're pretty good.
I'm gonna go look at the Big West and try to name these teams. I'm gonna go see.
Oh gosh. Give me UC Irvine to win this conference, enter in as a 14 seed, and maybe I'll pick them to upset somebody. I don't know.
It's Hawaii, UC Davis, UC San Diego, Long Beach State, UC Riverside, Cal State Northridge, UC Santa Barbara, Cal State Bakersfield, Cal State Fullerton, and Cal Poly.
Hey, Cal Poly gets down. That's all I'll say.
They're 0-20, so I mean they're 0-20 in the conference.
Anyways, we're gonna move on to the WAC conference. Hopefully, it's not very whack. All right,
so funny.
Now we got the WAC conference. With,
the nervous laugh.
We got Grand Canyon is gonna win this one. Grand Canyon's actually been a good story this year. I think they'll win this tournament. Enter as a 12 seed. Enter as a 12 seed. That a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, look at that big record. I think that they're gonna upset them, and then they're not. They're going to lose by 20. But, hey, they'll win their conference tournament. Now we're going to move to the Ivy League. The Ivy League only has 4 teams in their conference tournament. I don't know how.
Study for the test.
It's going to be number 1 Princeton versus number 4 Brown in the semifinals. And they'll play the winner of number 2 Yale versus number 3 Cornell. Princeton has been a great story, not only this year, but last year they were in the tournament when they upset 2 straight teams to make it all the way to the Sweet 16 and then got bounced out. But give me Princeton to win this whole thing and make it to the NCAA tournament as, let's say, a 14 seed and a team I will not pick to make it past the first round. Now we're going to move on to the A10. Now the A10 is actually a decent conference.
Loyola Chicago.
This is where it gets interesting. Loyola, so Dayton was the team that everybody talked about, but they actually made it in as not the 1 seed, not the 2 seed, but the 3 seed after getting upset by Richmond and Loyola Chicago. And Richmond is actually the 1 seed, and then Loyola Chicago at 2. But I'm going to go with Reese here. I think Loyola Chicago is going to mount up and win this conference tournament. And I don't know, maybe Richmond's able to sneak in with their good record, and maybe Dayton as well as an 11 seed or something like that. But give me Loyola Chicago to get the automatic bid and go in as a 10 seed and get a couple upsets and maybe make the Sweet 16. You never know. Now we'll move to the Mountain West. This is also another good conference that, hey, some of these teams don't have to win this whole thing to make the tournament. Obviously, it can help their resume. But I think number 1, Utah State is the top team by far in this conference. I think they'll make it to the championship. They'll face Boise State, the 3 seed, after Boise State upsets Nevada. And I
don't think
Utah
any top seeds from that conference make the championship game.
You don't think any top?
No.
Wait,
it'll be a low seed from their conference. From the what was it? The Mountain West? Yeah, from the Mountain West, there'll be a like an 8 or a 9 make the championship game probably.
Well, Reese, this is my segment, not yours, so I'm going to say Utah State plays Boise State in the championship and wins. Give me number 1 Utah State to win the whole thing. Now we'll move on to the American Conference. Now this has been a weird conference this year because everybody thought Florida Atlantic would just take every team's money and just make it all the way to the tournament unscathed. But they're actually the 2 seed behind South Florida, who's been on tear recently and is currently ranked in the AP poll. And I think they will continue that hot streak. They'll play Florida Atlantic in the championship. It'll be a good game, but give me the Bulls to win that game and go into the tournament as a 25-plus team to look out for as a possible 8 or 9 seed. And now we got the Pac-12 tournament. Now we get interesting. Now we get into the dirty work. All right. So starting off on the first round, which starts on Wednesday, you got USC against Washington, Oregon State against UCLA, Stanford against Cal, ASU against Utah. Give me, as a dark horse, they just upset the number 1 seed in this tournament, Arizona. If they win their game against Washington, they play Arizona again. Give me USC as a dark horse. But who's actually going to win this? I think Washington State is going to make it to the championship and beat Arizona. They're the 2 seed. They're the 2 seed in this Pac-12 tournament. They beat Arizona twice this year. Arizona didn't beat them once. So give me the Cougs to win that and then go into the tournament as a possible 6 seed and then possibly get bounced out the first round. Now we got Big Ten tournament. Now Big Ten tournament hasn't even been fully decided yet, but actually it has. Never mind, scratch that. But let's see some teams in this one. Rutgers, Maryland, Penn State, Michigan. They're all the first day teams. None of them will ever make it that far, so just forget about them. All right, I think a team to watch out for is Michigan State. Michigan State has not had the easiest year this year, but Tom Izzo always finds a way, and I think he does this year. I think they make it all the way to the championship game, but lose to the great giant that came all the way down from the beanstalk, Zach Edey in Purdue. Give me them to win the Big Ten championship and make it to the tournament as a 1 seed and get bounced out the first round. Now we got the Big East tournament. Big East is chock full of teams that, a lot of people have not watched, or even casuals haven't even heard of some of these teams, but they are all pretty good. All top 4 seeds in this tournament, I think, should make the NCAA tournament. Yes, that's right. I think Seton Hall should make the tournament, but I think it will take them beating St. John's, and that game is actually going to be on Thursday, March 14th on FS1, the 4 seed versus 5 seed. But give me Connecticut to make it all the way and then lose to Creighton, the number 2 seed in this tournament. Give me Creighton already did it one time. They're going to do it again. Give me Creighton versus UConn, the Big East Championship, and then Creighton winning this game to set them up on a nice hot streak going into the tournament at about a 4 or 5 seed and then making it possibly to the Elite 8. We'll see. Now we got the ACC tournament. The ACC tournament's going to be interesting this year. The bottom half of the ACC is absolutely trash, garbage, throw it away. But the top half is actually pretty decent. But the 4 seed is Pitt, so I'll change my mind. It's going to be North Carolina versus Duke because the 3 seed is Virginia and the 4 seed is Pitt. So give me North Carolina versus Duke in the ACC championship game. And then who's going to win it? North Carolina won twice this year. Let's go Duke. Duke's going to win against North Carolina and go into the tournament. It doesn't really matter because both these teams are going to make it anyway. But, yeah, give me Duke to win it and possibly enter the tournament as a 3 seed and then get bounced out in the second round. Now we'll go to Big 12. The Big 12 tournament has some randos. I mean, you got Oklahoma State, West Virginia. Those are the relevant teams. But this is a very deep conference because number 12 seed is UCF, who has beaten some of the top teams in their own league, including Kansas. And you also got they had a close game against Houston. I know that for sure. But a dark horse in this tournament, give me Texas, the number 7 seed in this tournament. I mean, Max Abmas, if they're shooting well, they can beat anybody. Give me them to make it all the way to the championship game to face the 3 seed in the tournament, Baylor. That's right, Houston and Iowa State both get bounced out in this conference tournament. They still make the NCAA tournament though, so it doesn't really matter. So give me Baylor versus Texas in the Big 12 Conference Championship game. And who's going to win it? Oh, yeah, Baylor. All right, now the last conference tournament. We made it all the way. We made it this far. Glad y'all stayed with me. We got the SEC tournament, the best conference in the entire galaxy. And who's going to win this entire thing? It's going to be Auburn. That's right, War Eagle. It'll be Auburn upsetting Tennessee in the semifinals. And they'll play against, that's right, Alabama. Roll Tide, but not really. Auburn will beat Alabama in the SEC championship. It's going to be beautiful. And then Auburn's going to go on to win the whole thing. Let's go, baby. War Dang Eagle. And that's going to do it for main matchup. And now I'll send it over to Mr. Reese Boy with top 10.
Who's first, who's last, and who's in between? This is Top 10.
Yeah, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do MLB top 10 since we're getting a little closer
to the end of spring training.
We were supposed to do it. I think we were supposed to do it like 2 weeks ago, but we forgot to. So we're gonna do MLB top 10.
Okay.
But I'm gonna start with mine. So my 10. Last year they made the playoffs. They kind of made a little bit of noise. So number 10, the Minnesota Twins. I think the Twins have a chance to do something big this year. I don't know how far they'll get with it, though. They'll definitely win their division because their division's poverty. Like, nobody in their division's good. But I think they could possibly make it pretty far in the playoffs. And, yeah, that's my number 10. My number 9 is a team I thought could have made the playoffs last year. But, they choked. But I think they're going to come back this year and show everybody why Ellie De La Cruz might be in the running for MVP. He might be a dark horse for MVP. And that's the Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds will be good again, and they will make the playoffs this year. I think the Reds have a shot to do something in the postseason this year. And the Reds are my 9. My number 8 is the Yankees. The reason they're number 8 is because I gotta wait to see what they got or what they're gonna do, because the past few years they've had a lot of talent and they just haven't worked really well with that talent. Haven't made They didn't make the playoffs last year. Of course, they did terrible last year, and we'll just see how the Soto addition does with their lineup and everything. Especially since the Yankees, like I said, didn't make the playoffs last year. We'll see what happens with that. But that's my 8. My 7 is another team I have high standards for this year, who did make the World Series but didn't win it. The Diamondbacks are my number 7. I think the Diamondbacks have a chance. Was it Max?
I had to let a little cough out.
Nice. The Diamondbacks, yeah, I think they have a shot to do something big like the Reds. Yeah, I think they could potentially just make it pretty far again like they did last year. Possibly, if they do what they did last year with Corbin Carroll and some of those guys they had last year, they could possibly win it all. They could get revenge on the Rangers. Stop, Max.
I had to cough.
Okay. And then my number 6 is the Phillies. I hate them, but you got to put them in the top 10 because sadly they're good. I mean, even though they probably get by with everything, they're good. The Phillies will make the playoffs again, and they'll probably play the Braves, and the Braves will probably choke, and then Brian Snicker will be banned from America. And then yeah, that's my 5. The Phillies, great team, good postseason team. And then my number, I skipped 6. That's why I'm at 6. 5 is the Astros. The Astros, didn't make it as far as they were expected last year. Did win the World Series the year before. The Astros will indeed be good again. They will probably make it further than they did last year. I don't think they'll choke. I think they make it at least to I say they make it at least to NL or ALCS. And then my number 4 is was Taylor's hottest take. The Orioles are my number 4. Orioles, like I said, great team, young team, have a chance to do something this year. I think they can make it as far as the World Series. That's my number 4. My number 3 is your World Series champions, the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers got everybody coming back, including their star pitcher Jacob deGrom is coming back from Tommy John surgery. We'll see how that goes. I mean, he's been injured every year of his career, so we'll see what Jacob deGrom does with the Rangers in year 2. My number 2 is the Braves. Braves have a young team, great talent. I think it's like I've seen on Instagram, it's either World Series or bust this year. For the Braves. That's my number 2, and my obvious number 1 is the Dodgers because they have like the entire MLB on their team basically. They just picked a card pack and got all diamonds from MLB The Show. So, yeah, they're my number 1.
All right, well, I'll go next. I'm going to go with, at number 10, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Reds, who you went with at 9. Ellie De La Cruz is really good at stealing bases. And, I've watched some of his stuff on YouTube. He's, pretty cool. So give me Cincinnati Reds at 10. At number 9, I'm going to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll, he was also a really entertaining guy to watch last year. Obviously, they made the playoffs. Didn't make it as far as they wanted to, but give me them to bounce back and do good this year. Number 8, I got the Toronto Blue Jays because they actually have the cover player coming in for MLB The Show coming into this season. That's right. His name is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think he'll do good. Currently, he's hurt, but, it's still spring training, so I think he'll come back and be really good. Next, what am I at? I'm at 8.
Yep.
All right, so number 8, I'm going to have to go with actually, that was number 8. Number 7, I'm going to go with the Astros. They made the World Series last year, but then lost to the Texas Rangers. By the way, the Texas Rangers are my number 6. Or no, it was was the Diamondbacks that lost to? Or something, whatever.
No, they lost the Rangers in the ALCS.
Okay, yeah, whatever. But anyways, give me the Texas Rangers at 6 as well. I like their logo. And then number 5, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves. And next, I'm going to go with number 4. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies are way much better than, being number 5. They're number 4. I think they would beat whoever would be in number 5 any day of the week. And so give me the Philadelphia Phillies at number 4. They're just really good and winning the playoffs. Bryce Harper, he's just so good, And then number 3, I'm going to go with running out of teams here. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Orioles. Adley Rutschman, that guy is so good looking and so good at playing, so good at hitting balls. So give me the Baltimore Orioles at number 3. And then number two, I'm going to go with the LA Dodgers because, why not? And then number 1 is the Boston Red Sox. Don't at me. Let's go.
Okay, time for a real top 10 after Max's. Reese's was very good, but Max's wasn't. Number 10.
I like mine. I
got the Tampa Bay Rays at number 10. I'm not huge on them. Their stadium sucks, just so y'all know. Randy Arozarena is a very good player. Great home run hitter, but their pitching is awful. So they're going to stay at number 10. Number 9, I got Toronto Blue Jays at number 9. You got Vladdy, you got George Springer, you got a bunch of good players. They have a pitcher, I can't remember his name, that won Cy Young 2 years ago that's still there,
Alex Manoah.
still dealing. So give me the Blue Jays at 9. Number 8, I got the Philadelphia Phillies. I don't like him, but like Max said, Bryce Harper is a very good player. Nick Castellanos, their second baseman, Byron Scott, I'm pretty sure is his name.
Bryson Stott.
Yeah, Bryson Stott. He's a very good young talent for them. He'll grow up to be a really good player for them, but they just got contact all around. They can get on the base pads, and they can create opportunity for runs. So give me them at 8. Number 7, I got the Arizona Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll, I think, is a sleeper to win MVP this year. He carried that team single-handedly into the World Series. And then Zach Gallen on the mound for them is also very, very good. Was actually an all-star as a pitcher, so they got 2 really good players, and the rest are depth, so they're a very good team. Number 6, I got the Texas Rangers, defending champions, same team coming back. But a lot of the teams that I'm going to put above them added more superstars to what they already had. The Rangers just kind of stood still, have Jacob deGrom coming back, so that'll be a good addition. And they also got Max Scherzer as well, so their pitching is set, but I don't believe in their hitting as much with Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. Only 2
Ashes
big
coming out
players.
of Max Scherzer.
What?
The Ashes are going to come out of Max Scherzer mid-season, so
I don't think so. What number am I on? 5?
yeah, you're
7.
fine.
Number
5.
5, I got the New York Yankees. I don't know how Max didn't have them in his top 10 at all. The
Because they
addition of
suck.
Juan Soto, adding with Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, all these top home run hitters. You got Garrett Cole as the ace. I mean, this Yankees team is very, very good. The Yankees are actually my second favorite team, so
Oh my
give me them
god.
at number 5. Number 4, I got the Baltimore Orioles, my hottest take team. I don't know how they had the 7th best odds on FanDuel, but
Handles
shout out FanDuel for your
they
horrible
post
odds.
Taylor Swift every day, so
I don't need to talk about the Orioles anymore. I already talked about them enough. So, and then number 3, I got the Houston Astros, led by Jose Altuve, the cheaters. Actually, Justin Verlander, I think he's still there.
Yeah, he came back.
Yeah, but the Astros are a very good team. They got a very good weapons all around. So watch out for them to continue their dominance that they've had the past few years. Then number 2, I got the Los Angeles Dodgers, adding Shohei Ohtani with Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. I mean, I could go down the list. You got Will Smith at catcher, Chris Taylor. I mean, their team is just deadly all around. There's not a single person in the lineup that can't hit. And then number 1, I got the Atlanta Braves, the best team in baseball, voted best team in baseball, voted best player, Ronald Acuna Jr. Should have been the cover of MLB The Show, but he agreed not to do it. So that's fun. But the Atlanta Braves, number 1, probably going to choke in the playoffs again, though. So
All right, well, now we'll move on to debate topic with Taylor, and then we'll move on to prize picks. Taylor, go ahead and hit us with the debate topic of the day.
Yes.
Now, this is where things can get a little bit heated. This is Taylor's debate topic.
So for our debate topic today, we'll be doing something a little bit different. We'll be going right down the road to the university practice facilities here in Auburn with spring practice going on, A-Day coming up on April 6th. We're going to go through and predict every single Auburn football game and what their final record is going to be for next year. I'm going to go game by game, and we will say win or lose. And for the big games, such as the SEC games, why we think that outcome. I'll give my outcome, then I'll let y'all, give y'all's and explain it. Week 1 at home versus Alabama A&M, easy dub.
Get him out of here.
Yep. Easy dub. Easy dub.
Get off my
easy.
court. Get off my court.
Week 2 at home versus Cal. I said dub, but I do think this will be a tougher game. I mean, Cal's got that running back that is going to be deadly.
Is Ott going to come back for revenge like he said he was?
Yeah. So, give me the Tigers.
Yeah, they're winning.
especially with Cal moving to the Big 12 or no
The ACC.
ACC.
Yeah, the worst Power 5 conference.
Yeah.
It's actually the Big 12 now. So
Wah, wah.
week
All right.
3 at home versus New Mexico. Better watch out for a New Mexico school. I put an L.
I
Okay.
put win. That's the different New Mexico team that wins 2 games a year.
I will give us the W, because what the heck is a Lobo?
Check one, check one.
And then this is where
Auburn
we start.
3-0, War Dang Eagle.
This is where we start SEC play. Week
Versus-
4 at home versus
Wait, Taylor,
Arkansas.
did you seriously give us an L for the New Mexico game?
No.
Okay. I was just making sure.
And
Yeah,
after
that-
Arkansas, I have a starting 4-0.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. Sam Pittman,
Is
get off my
KJ
court.
Jefferson still coming back?
Are you
KJ
skeptical?
Jefferson's going
No.
to UCF. He's
He-
going to play with the Gus Bus.
He transferred.
Yeah.
He's gone. Get him out of here.
He's riding with the Gus Bus. Their starting quarterback is their water
Check
boy.
Tuesday. Check.
And then first loss of the season versus Oklahoma at home.
Nope. We win. Upset.
No.
Yes.
There's no way we beat Oklahoma.
Yes.
Okay,
Why?
okay, so all right, let me put on my serious voice now. Oklahoma, Jackson Arnold, I watched him play against Arizona. He played absolutely terrible. But he was the number 1 recruit last year, and it was his first game starting as a true freshman. That being said, Oklahoma will come into Jordan-Hare, tougher environment, and they will win just barely 31-28 against Auburn. It will be a heartbreaker for the Tigers, but a big win for the Sooners. But watch out, because, I mean, that game could go either way, especially with Oklahoma having a new quarterback.
So, Reese, why do you think Auburn's going to win?
I just have to say, I mean, Oklahoma, I've seen it in the past. They come into environments, like loud environments, and they can't win. It's happened in the past. Last year they lost to Kansas.
You know what's crazy, Reese? They beat Texas in the Red River Showdown.
They beat Texas when half of their fans show up to that game.
Yeah, they don't have Dylan Gabriel no more. That's the main thing I'm worried about. Because
Yeah,
if you watch that game against Arizona, their bowl game, Jackson Arnold, who is starting this year at quarterback for him, he had 5 interceptions, which he was the reason they lost that game. Do I think he'll play better than that this year? 100%.
Have you seen their defense too? Their cornerbacks have to be the worst cornerbacks in college football history.
They did
They're
lose
terrible.
a lot. All of that being said, I think Auburn, I think we do lose this game. I will give us 4-1. So I think we can agree on 4-1.
Week 6, Deep South's oldest rivalry at Georgia. I got an easy L. Carson Beck's going to win Heisman next year.
That's an L. It's a loss.
I say we lose like by 10, 15.
I say we lose 111-3.
Love the score outcome. That's close.
It's an
And
Athens.
then week 7, kind of a sleeper game at Missouri. I have another L.
Yeah, we lose 76-4. So
I have an L.
Luther Burden is going to have 450 yards for. I'll give him the under with 7 receiving touchdowns. So.
And then week 8, a little bit easier, but still a tough game at Kentucky. I put a W, though.
Yeah, this is Mark Stoops last year.
Auburn Tigers for the dub.
He's gonna get fired.
Sucks. Kentucky is a nothing school. They lose this game. Auburn W.
And then the next 2, week 9 and week 10, at home versus Vanderbilt and UL Monroe. If we lose either of these, I'm nuking Jordan-Hare Stadium. So.
Hey, watch out for Vandy this year. This might be the year.
15-0, baby.
Yeah. Vandy with the extended playoffs.
I tried to tell y'all every
Yeah.
year they
Yeah.
gonna win the natty.
Yeah, but I'll say one thing: War Dang Eagle 2-0 on this.
Don't give a piss about that anchor.
All right, what about Texas A&M now?
And then week 11 at home versus Texas A&M. I put L because it usually works
Mike Elko's
out.
not gonna clap us. He's
That's
not
a
gonna,
big- It's a victory for the OGs.
No, it's
Give me a
not.
W.
Mike Elko needs to go play Fortnite. So
Okay.
yeah.
No. Let's get serious now. Okay, I'll give us an L here, but I'm gonna change my Oklahoma take. I think that's a W. So give me Auburn beating Oklahoma and losing to A&M. Jordan-Hare, we don't lose twice in the year at Jordan-Hare.
Yes,
all
we
right?
do.
And I'll
we
put
did
that.
this year.
I'll put that on my something. So give me Auburn being 9-2 going into Tuscaloosa. So or actually 9-3.
I say we win because every
8-3,
time
because that's
the matchup history between Auburn and A&M, usually the home team wins.
no.
Majority.
It's actually a great matchup for us. That's what I will say. It's a great matchup for us, and I think Connor Weigman is extremely overrated. Like my goodness.
And
ESPN
then
literally
last week
watching.
at Alabama, easy L. We've never won at Alabama since Cam Newton. So
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we're not winning, but it would be close because DeBoer has like all of his linemen are like 200 pounds and they're not SEC qualified, but he'll figure that out when they go 8-4. So yeah, we lose, but we lose close.
and then to
I
end the
see.
debate, who should be Auburn's starting quarterback? We'll go Max Reese and then me, Peyton Thorne, Hank Brown, or Walker White.
Well, you forgot to include the GOAT Holden Geriner. Just kidding. That guy's such a
I love
bust.
how you said his
But
name wrong. So
I don't care about him. I don't know his family. But that guy should enter the LinkedIn portal right now because he's not starting this year. I think that Peyton Thorne will start at the beginning of the year, but I think slowly when you see how terrible he is, we keep seeing, the same story unfold. I think Walker White will get the nod and will be Auburn's next starting quarterback for the next 3 years. So give me at the end of the season Walker White starting. At the beginning for the first 2 games, Peyton Thorne.
Oh yeah, I think Peyton Thorne will start the Alabama A&M game, and then I think by the California game, everybody will realize how terrible he is, and then he'll pull a fake DeMar Hamlin, and then we'll retire his name on the ambulance, and then we'll just, we'll just if we ever need an ambulance, they'll come out and just have the Peyton Thorne jersey retirement on the back, but Walker White will be the quarterback by the end of the season probably.
all right, well that's gonna do it for Taylor's debate topic. We had a lot of fun talking about Reese and Max's favorite team. Yeah, War Eagle, I guess. Let's move
No,
on
he's a Ducks fan. Quack, quack, quack.
to Max's prize pick.
Yep. And we're going to get our buddy from AHS Game Day, Isaac Shoemaker, in here. We're going to send him the link to the pod, and then we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Not sponsored by the app Prize Picks, it's time for Max's Prize Picks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and we got a very special guest for y'all today. He's part of AHS Game Day at the high school. He also does show choir, and that's basically all he does. We got Isaac Shoemaker in the building.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, Isaac, how's it going right now at 10 p.m. on a school night?
It's going great at 10 p.m. on a school night. I'm so excited. Coming
Yeah.
off spring break,
Yeah, I know.
back
Hopefully you
into
had a good
life.
spring break. I know I did. But let's go ahead and get into the standings real quick. Special
Let's
guest
do it.
standings. So, Isaac, this is what you're up against right now. We've had 5 special guests on the show all the time. And in 5th place is our boy Connor Davis, the Roll Tide Roll fan. He's 1-4-1. Aiden Treadwell, who went 2-4. He's tied with Grayson Stokes, who went 2-4. And then the top 2 is Caden Harvey, our last guest, who went 4-2 when he was on the show. Then Patrick Bingham, who went 5-1. Absolute sports nerd right there. And now
I'm going undefeated here. I'm going undefeated. Taking the
right,
first place.
Let's see. We'll see about that. All right, and then our standings, me, Taylor, and Reese's. Taylor is still in the lead because we all got the same record last week's show, 4-2. So Taylor stands at 72-53-1. Me and Reese are tied for second at 69-56-1. Now we'll go and get it straight to it. We got on the list for today. We're going to start off with college softball, and this is probably going to be one of the biggest college softball games of the year. It's number 1 Texas, who is 21-2 coming into this game. They're going on the road to face the number 3 LSU Tigers, who are 22-0 and the only undefeated team in softball right now. This game is at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, March 12th on SEC Network. I'm going to try and tune into this game at school so I don't have to do my work. But hopefully it's a great game. I think it will be. And I'm not going to lie, I'm surprised LSU didn't get one after Oklahoma got upset by Louisiana. And so give me LSU to beat Texas at home, dethrone the number 1 team, and continue their undefeated season. I'm going to say they win this game. I say it's going to be a close game and a low-scoring game. Give me LSU to win it 4-3. Isaac, who do you?
I'm gonna take LSU winning this game because it's always hard to win in Louisiana,
For
and
sure, for sure.
it's a big game. Got the number one team.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take LSU.
it's gonna be a must watch for sure. Taylor, who you got winning this one?
Horns up, baby. Give me the Texas Longhorns. Number one team in the nation for a reason.
All right, Reese, who you got?
Horns down. LSU loses
Yes,
or wins.
nice.
All
All right, so three of us got that one right. By the way, that game will be on Tuesday once again at 11 a.m. on SEC Network. Now we're going to move quickly into our college women's basketball game of the week, and that will be between the number 16 Kansas State Wildcats and the number 6 Texas Longhorns. A lot of Texas on this list, but Kansas State comes into this game at 25-6 overall, 13-5 in the Big 12 Conference. Texas comes into this game at 28-4 overall and 14-4 in the Big 12 Conference. This is actually for the Big 12 semifinal. So to make it to the Big 12 championship, this game is actually being played in Missouri in the T-Mobile Center, and this will be on ESPN2 at 4 p.m. on whenever y'all are listening to this, which is Monday. It'll be basically 30 minutes after this episode gets released at 4 p.m. This game, it's gonna be a good one. Texas is really good. I know they have a really, really good point guard. I forget her name. Her name's losing me. And I know Kansas State has gotten upset a couple of times later on in the year. But that being said, I'm going to give me actually Kansas State to upset the Texas Longhorns here. I think Texas is already locked in on the NCAA tournament. There have been actually a lot of upsets excuse me, a lot of upsets in between the tournaments, even though, the main teams, South Carolina, Iowa, and USC have all won their tournament. There have been a couple upsets leading up to the championship, and I think one happens right here. Give me the Kansas State Wildcats to win this one. I'm going to say 81-73. Isaac, who you got winning
Man,
this game?
I'm just gonna disagree with you straight up, Maxie.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw the horns up. I'm gonna agree with Taylor over here. Texas is winning this.
Got you. I mean, hey, it's not a bad pick. They're ranked higher. Taylor, who you got?
I got to go with Isaac as well. Horns up. The guard you were looking for is Rory Harmon. She's averaging 14.1 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, and 7.8 assists from Houston, Texas, leading her hometown team to the Big 12 championship. Give me the Texas Longhorns.
Horns up. Texas wins.
All right. Well, I was trying to be different, go with an upset. Hopefully they win. Please, Kansas State. Please, please, please. All right. Now we'll move on to some baseball, and this will be a great game. And we're actually going to pick who wins the series because this is actually going to be a 3-game series that's going to be played next weekend, and it's going to end on Sunday, March 17th at 12 p.m. is when the last game of this series will be played on SC Network Plus. It is between the number 7 in the country, Texas A&M Aggies, who are 16-0 and one of the few undefeated teams remaining in college baseball. They're going on the road to face number 4 Florida, who is 10-5, but a lot of those losses have been to top caliber teams like Wake Forest and Texas and some of those other teams. But to win the series by 2-1 games, I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M does get their first loss this weekend, but I do think the Aggies go on the road against Florida. Florida did return a lot of their starters from last year's World Series team. That's why they were ranked so highly to start off the year. But I think Texas A&M is on a hot streak right now, so give me the Aggies to beat them 2-1 with that loss coming on Saturday, but then them bringing back their ace pitcher winning on Sunday, March 17th. Isaac, who do you got? I know you like baseball because I saw you at the game the other day.
Yes, I was at the Auburn game the other day, but I'm gonna have to take Texas A&M winning 3-0. I don't think Florida has a shot in this competition.
It's so big.
Okay. Texas, who you got? Or Taylor?
I've been to a Florida college baseball game. They're so fun. They pack it out. They have like this little deck in the outfield, but they won't be able to pack it out enough for the 16-0 Texas A&M Aggies. I'm going with all Texas schools today, baby. Give me the Aggies winning the series.
Yeah, I'm going with Texas A&M. Texas A&M's had a really good year so far, and I think they're going to continue that by winning. I'm going to say 2 out of 3. I'm going to say Florida gets the last one. So
all right,
wins the series.
that game once again will be Friday through Friday through Sunday, the game on Friday, game on Saturday, and game on Sunday, all around noon on SEC Network. Plus, and now we're going to move into our 2 NBA games. We're going to start off with a game that's going to be on Thursday at 9 p.m. on TNT. And it's between the Dallas Mavericks, who are 36-28, coming into this game, and 17-13 went away. And they're going on the road to face the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 45-19 overall and 26-6 when playing at home. Right now, ESPN has OKC with a 71.6 chance to win this game. One thing to watch for this game, though, is that Jalen Williams right now is day-to-day injured right now, but he is estimated to return on Tuesday because they have a game then, too. So we'll see if that affects the Thunder at all. I think he will be back to play on Thursday. Dallas has no injuries listed whatsoever. But, you know, the Mavericks, right now this series between these two teams is split 1-1. Dallas won, or the Thunder won the first meeting 126-120, and then Dallas came back and won the second one 146-111. That game was on February 10th. So the Thunder, I think, will get their revenge for that game. Luka Doncic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, are both in the top 5 for MVP conversation. But I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will get the better of Doncic and prove why he should be the NBA MVP this year. Give me the Thunder winning this game 123-119 over the Dallas Mavericks. Isaac, who you got?
I'm going to disagree with you again, Max. I'm going to have to take the Mavericks. You know, Luka's hot. He always is hot. He's averaging like 30 points a game.
35.
35.
Yeah.
34.7, around that same area. But that's just crazy. And you know, I'm not seeing many other people put up those stats other than, like, you know, LeBron or some bigger teams. But we're talking about the Mavericks right now. I think the Mavericks are going to win this.
Well, that'll make Dillard happy for sure. That's his team. So, Taylor, who you got winning this game?
You know, this is going to be a great game. 2 of the top teams in the West. Luka, the number 1 scorer in the NBA. Shai, the number 2 scorer in the NBA. Battle of the superstars. But I just think the team around Shai for the Thunder is way better with Chet Holmgren, who's going to get second in Rookie of the Year voting. Josh Giddey, the Pred. You got Luguentz Dort, Isaiah Joe coming off the bench. You got a lot of great people around Shai, and this Thunder team, it goes back to what I said about the Orioles. You got to believe in the rebuild, and they've done that, and they put themselves in a great place to beat the Mavericks on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Thunder. I think the Thunder are gonna make the finals, honestly. So I got the Thunder winning big against the Mavericks. I say Shai gets about 30.
And you know what's crazy about Josh Giddey? He's averaging the same amount of points that he goes for.
How many is that, Taylor?
11.3.
You did your stats, didn't you?
All right, well,
We have to cut that out.
that game will be. That guy will be on Thursday.
Stop touching me.
I'm not Josh Giddey, but that game will be on Thursday on TNT at 9 p.m. Now we're going to move to our second NBA game. This is going to be a great one. This one's on Tuesday at 9 p.m. on TNT, and it'll be between the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are 44-20 and 21-12 went away, and they're going on the road against the LA Clippers, who are 41-22 and 22-9 at home. The NBA, or the ESPN Analytics, has the Clippers at a 63.9% chance to win this game. And notable injuries, Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns is out until April 20th, so he will not be playing in this game. And then also Rudy Gobert, Kyle Anderson, and Monty Morris are listed as out, but they are estimated to return after this game. So the Timberwolves are going to be down 4 players. 2 starters, Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, and then Kyle Anderson, Monty Morris are also going to be out. For the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are both day-to-day, with their estimated return date being Tuesday the 12th. So this game could be between a lot of JUCO players, but it's still a very important game. 2 of the top teams in the West. And you know what? The Timberwolves have won 2 out of the 3 matchups between these 2 teams. The Clippers won the last one. I'm going to go with the Timberwolves. I think they have more depth. I think Anthony Edwards is basically playing like prime MJ right now. and I think that they will get the win on the road and prove why they are indeed one of the best teams in the West, along with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets. So give me the Timberwolves on the road, 131 to 125. Isaac, who you got?
Man, that was a pretty good observation you took there, Max.
Thank you.
I'm really liking your decision
Stop
here.
touching
Yeah,
me.
the Timberwolves they're hot, and not only them,
No, they're
but Anthony
not.
Edwards. Anthony Edwards is he's
likes
very
them 12 and under.
Bro, what? Yo. Dog.
Anthony Edwards dropping 26 or averaging 26 points a game. You know, that's not a bad percentage, and he's going to continue to drop that plus more. And I don't think that they have a chance in this game, so I'm going to go with the Timberwolves.
All right, Taylor, who you got?
I watched the Timberwolves play the Cavs and lose in overtime, but I noticed with Cat being out, there's a guy named Nas Reed that stepped up, had 34 points against the Cavs,
Bro,
has
now Reed's been popping
21
off.
against the Lakers at
Yeah, he's pretty
halftime.
good.
He's been an absolute demon. So I think that injury with Karl Anthony Towns doesn't affect the Timberwolves that much. Number one in the Western Conference for a reason. Go Timberwolves. They're going to beat the Clippers.
Yeah, I think the Timberwolves, I think that's going to be the team that could possibly beat the Thunder. The Timberwolves, very good team. I think the Timberwolves have a chance to go far in the playoffs this season. And I think they're going to beat the Clippers pretty bad, honestly, with Kawhi and Paul George out.
Well, now we're going to go to our last game of this entire
Wobble, wobble,
segment.
wobble, wobble,
And
wobble, wobble.
it'll be between the San Francisco Dons, and the Gonzaga Bulldogs, the number 19 in the team in the country. This game is actually technically today when y'all are listening to this at 10:30 p.m.
Max likes
on
them
ESPN
12 and
2.
under.
And this game, San Francisco's coming in this game at 23-9 overall, while Gonzaga's 24-6. This game is actually for a chance at the Western Coast Conference championship and so the Bulldogs come into this game as an 8.5-point favorite, and ESPN Analytics has them with a 75.2% chance to win this game. The Gonzaga Bulldogs started off this season quite terribly. They actually at some point weren't even projected to make the tournament still. But
yeah, they were in the bubble for a little bit.
Yeah, but they have caught fire recently. Won their last 5 games, all by great margins, at least double digits in every game, including beating the number 1 team in the WCC tournament, the St. Mary's, or I forget what St. Mary's mascot is, but they beat St. Mary's as their last game of the year. And so the Gales, So give me the Bulldogs to win this game because San Francisco has also lost the last 2. Give me the Bulldogs to win this game. I don't even think it's going to be that close. I think 82-66. Give me Gonzaga to win and make it to the WCC championship. Isaac, who do you have?
Well, if you look back, February 29th, Gonzaga went against the same team, and they won. So, and they're hot right now, actually. And, going against, the 2 and 3 team, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a packed-out stadium. But I'm going to have to take the Bulldogs because they are definitely a basketball-centered school, and it's going to be just a fun game to watch. And I'm going to have them win by 20.
Good pick. Taylor, who you got?
Like Max was saying earlier, Gonzaga early in the year was kind of sketch after losing to Washington, UConn, SCU, and St. Mary's. But they got that huge win at Kentucky, huge win at St. Mary's. I believe what Isaac said. Gonzaga's hot right now, and they're 9th in the entire league for points per game. So give me the Gonzaga hot, torching offense. Going to shoot a lot of threes, going to make a lot of them, and they're going to beat San Francisco easily.
I would agree with y'all, but I just don't trust Gonzaga. Never have, never will. Easiest conference in basketball. I got San Francisco winning this one. I'm gonna say about 10 points.
Reese, can I interrupt you there? I just want to add, they're 73-22. That's their record all time, and the Bulldogs have only lost 22 times. So
yeah, we'll see.
I'm gonna convince you to change your pick right now.
We'll see.
All right, well, that's going to do it for Prize Picks. Thank you, Isaac Shoemaker, for joining us.
Yeah.
For this. I know it's pretty late in your day, but from us all here at Tiger's Den, we hope y'all enjoyed this episode. We love doing these episodes for y'all. We hope to continue making them in the future. But be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on another platform, be sure to rate us 5 stars. But other than that, we're Tiger's Den, and we're saying see ya.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition of the Tiger's Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central. Also be sure to check out our other podcast, Play Callers, where we interview a coach from Auburn High School football. Be sure to check out those episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central on all platforms.